Blackity black, 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 blackity black, 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 blackity. Have y'all heard that song? I've heard it twice now. Am I the only one? It's on the regular radio. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Fabulites. Are we 3, 2, 1 live? I think we are. Are we live? I'm Angela. The channel is Be Fabulous You, and this is Notes on the News, where I share with you headlines from my news feed and my thoughts, ideas, and perspectives on those headlines. And on the headlines and the article and the subject matter at large, or maybe none of that at all. But it's not news. It's just my notes on the news. What's new and good? What's the good news in your community? What's the good news over by you? What you got to share? Huh? All right, Habaragani. Habaragani? It's your opportunity to type in what the good news is for today. What the Kwanzaa principle is for today. What was it yesterday? Was it Umoja? I don't remember. Was it Umoja? Dang, I got a system. I'm thinking I need to get me some chalkboard paint and put it, and then I could keep track of. I'd be like, oh, it was, I could remember. Okay, let me see. Yeah, yesterday was Umoja. So that means that today is Kuji Chaga Leah. Ku. Kuji. How do you spell Kuji Chaga Leah? Kuji, Kuji, Chaga, Chagulia. Kuji Chaga Leah. To me, just the way the words sound, it sounds like self-determination. Kuji Chaga, I said Kuji Chaga Leah. Kuji Chaga Leah. That's what it sounds. That's how it feels to me. Self-determination. To define ourselves, name ourselves, create for ourselves, and speak for ourselves. To define ourselves. How do you define yourself? Have you named yourself anything? Or did you accept the name that your parents give you? You know, sometimes people have multiple names in their lifetimes, especially Black and brown people. We tend to have like many, many names. I tried to name myself once Peppy. Peppy, like, you know, I wanted a nickname because I didn't have one and all the other people had a nickname, but it never stuck. Peppy did not stick. But it was the precursor to Smiley Riley, which didn't really stick with a whole bunch of people. Just my husband called me Smiley Riley, but I like Smiley Riley. What are some other nicknames I've had? I don't know. Those might be the only nicknames. Oh, Goddess Gila. So, G. Somebody used to want to call me G. I'm like, you cannot call me G. You are not going to call me G. So he started calling me Gila. And then somebody else took that and they called me Jalala, which I thought was really interesting. What other names have I had? So I like Gila. I use Gila, Goddess Gila a lot. Sometimes, like, I've been in situations where there was more than one Angela, which is unusual, and I became Gila in contexts where I'm normally not Gila. So that was kind of cool. So I think those are all the names I've had. I think. To define ourselves, name ourselves, create for ourselves. So what are you creating for yourself, for your family, for your community? What are you creating? And to speak for ourselves. Ooh, that's a good one, to speak for ourselves. Peace and love, King. Conscious of genocide. Okay, so that's Kuji Chakalia. That's our principle for today. So as we're checking, as we're watching, as we're paying attention to the headlines, we want to see it through the filter as much as we can of Kuji Chakalia. Let's see what the Buddha had to say today. Thank you for the like. Let us see what the Buddha had to say today. Hey! Hey, love. Hey, Mary Jane. Hey, love. I don't know if I say that. Hey, love. What's up, love? I don't know. That might not be for me. I'm not saying it's not for you. I'm just, you know what I'm saying. Okay. Happy indeed we live. Happy indeed we live. Friendly amidst the hostile. Amidst hostile people, we dwell free from hatred. Wow, I don't even remember this one. I feel like it's only about 20 or 30 words from the Buddha, and I feel like, they just cycle around, but this one I don't know it. You know what I like about this site, that it has it in the other language as well, which is dang, what language is it? Pali. It's in Pali, which is like an ancient language, I think, that's not spoken anymore. Happy indeed we live, friendly amidst the hostile. Amidst hostile people, we dwell free from hatred. I don't really know if it ain't no explaining necessary for that. That's just, and I think that I definitely feel like, that's part of my value system. I feel that I should determine my mood, and I should determine who I am. I'm self-determining. I'm not sitting around waiting for somebody else to set my mood and to tell me whether I'm happy or sad, or how to respond to stuff, or whether it's a good day or a bad day. I order up my day in the morning. Every day is a good day. That's how I like it. How you like it? You like it like that? Okay. Let's see let's proceed with the notes from the news feed officially. So we officially on now. The India village on the verge of extinction. So this place, it's been based on mining, heavily based on mining. Before it was based on mining, I think the people used to every day is a good day. Yes, it is. I think before it was mining, they used to do cashews and something else. I think it was cashews, but it was some kind of seed or nut, but it was cashews. I think they were like cashew farmers. But then because of the type of mining it is, where you dig up and then you throw the dirt someplace, all the dirt got thrown over where the people who, where they were planting their crops. And they feel, it seems like there's like a sense of the people having been tricked into, moving into mining. And so now, the whole mining thing um, is environmentally like a hot mess, where a hot mess, where, the people are breathing. It's just coal dust all over the place, just a mess, just a mess. And so now I guess that the environmentalists have gotten involved, and so I guess it's coal. Did I say coal? The coal companies are moving someplace else, but it's almost like they came into a community that was thriving. The people had a livelihood. The people was living, and now they live in. The people don't have a livelihood. They not thriving. They don't have no money. It's like the corporation or whatever has come in, sucked everything they could get out of it, and then I guess they moving on to something else. What an awful, like, is that how we I don't want to be like that in the world. I don't want to be that person who comes, suck everything out, and then I leave things worse than they were when I got there. You know, that's like ugly. That's like an awful image. A dozen people lose their jobs in layoffs as the Sony Crackle streaming service. Hey, Sonia C's, what's up, girlie? Um, okay, a dozen people lose their jobs in layoffs at the Sony Crackle streaming service. When I cut off cable, I watched Crackle for a while. I can't remember. It was some original shows. There was like one or two original shows that I watched on Crackle, like about 5 or 10 years ago, for like 3 months. But I haven't seen anything on Crackle since then. Crack. I want some crack. So I guess they're not thriving. We don't really hear anything about them. At that time, it seemed like Hulu and Crackle were about the same, but now Hulu has had some original shows, at least Harlots, which I thought was excellent, and Handmaid's Tale, which is critically acclaimed, not just Angela acclaimed, but the critics think it's excellent. I thought it was good too. So people are losing their jobs. I guess they on their way out, this company. Ebola reaches urban area in Congo, causing major concern among health officials. So over the past, it seemed like it's only been 3 days, but every day it's been a headline or two, because I got two or three on my feed about Ebola in the Congo. So just prayers out to the people. It kind of makes me wonder, because before it was like this big deal, and then it kind of went away. I'm kind of like, I don't know really exactly what to make of it. Something strange about this resurgence. Yeah, but I'm not really clear what to make of it. I was kind of thinking, because one of the headlines kind of talks about the fact that, um, the birth rate is down among certain people. And so I'm like, well, sometimes when people are like petty, or like when their brains don't work exactly right, or when their emotions don't work exactly right, they think, oh, I can build myself up by tearing other people down. And so I'm like, are they trying to build up their birth rate by killing off people? Is that what's going on? And then, one headline talks about the World Health Organization being involved. I'm not like, I don't trust the World Health Organization. And of course, whenever there's like a major outbreak, they're involved. I always feel like they involved before there's a major outbreak. The Red Cross can't be trusted. Yeah, right. I, I don't feel like those I don't trust them. So just prayers out, and, increasing clarity and wisdom to all of us as we deal with these institutions and this system, and, deal with it in ways that make sense for our health and our dignity and the longevity and the strength and power of our communities. South Carolina woman on earning her fourth degree at 92. It feels wonderful. Dead cross instead of Red Cross. Dead cross. That's pretty clever. I've never heard that. Y'all be coming up, y'all just be coming up with these names. The Awful Louse, the Awful House, the Waffle Louse. I just say Awful Louse because I like the combination. But then nobody know what I'm talking about. But y'all creative. Y'all be coming up with some stuff. So I was interested because they said South Carolina woman earning her fourth degree. So I wonder what degree she's earning. And so then in the article, it's an associate's degree. So I was kind of like, I don't understand. So I don't know, I don't really understand. But I do like the idea of somebody being 92 and, out here studying. She said she has a hair salon, but she said, wake up, Africa. She said that the hair salon wasn't enough and she wanted more. She wanted, some stimulation and, to keep her brain sharp. So I like that. So I have, oh, wait, what's her name? That was 5 so far. Hold on one second. We got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 31, 32, 33. 33 claps because 33 is one of my favorite numbers. And so we just given her 33 hand claps. The mama's name she's from South Carolina. Her name is Annie Dillard. So yay, Mama Annie Dillard. Yeah, you do need to get your degree. If that's what you want to do, I agree 100%. It's always time. Mine too, 33. Oh, why? Are you born on the 3rd of something? It bet not be the same month as me. Or what? What am I gonna do? So anyway, that's mama. That's the mama. Congratulations to her. Whitney Houston molested. I like those earrings. Girl, more dollar store stuff. And look at it, how this one is painted on the back and this one isn't. They seem they're very lightweight. I love them. I wish I had not the dollar jewelry it was called. I haven't seen it here. Whitney Houston molested by Dionne Warwick's sister. New film reveals. So I haven't really like closely followed sort of the Whitney Houston story at all. And so I don't want to speak specifically about her, but I guess it is like, I think that a lot of times when we talk about molestation and we talk about the fact that girls are molested as well as boys, but a lot of times we only talk about molesters as men. But I think that some of these girls who are molested, some of us go on to be molesters, just like every boy who's molested does not go on to be a molester. So, I mean, I don't know, what the situation is with Dionne Warwick and her sister and, Whitney Houston or all of that. But I do believe that, shoot, if as many people as get molested, it's not just, it's a lot of people out here molesting more than we hear about. So just prayers out to, anybody who's experienced molestation directly or indirectly, because I feel like it plays a part in a lot of our relationships. Sometimes we don't even realize that the people that we're dealing with have been molested. Like, especially I think with men, a lot of times we don't realize that men have been molested. But sometimes men don't even realize they've been molested. They just think, especially if it was by a woman, they just think, oh, I was just precocious. I was sexually precocious. I was out here doing the most. You know what I mean? Like, they think they was just like a man at, 9 or 15 or whatever, because this grown woman was dealing with them in a very inappropriate way called molestation, and rape or whatever. So just, prayers out, to all of us. And then I think it hampers, or it creates a challenge in the way that we interact with one another. Because, the pain is there and the distrust, and, it kind of, you have a weird relationship with somebody, and the next relationship is impacted by the relationship that you done had. And, all of our relationships feed on one another and interact with one another and build and ebb and flow. And so I think it affects a lot more of us than we're conscious of. um and it just seems like, some people, like, I don't know, but it's like, wow, some people have just really had a lot that they have gone through in their lives. you know Church sign declaring Black folks need to stay out of white churches sparks outrage. But this pastor isn't apologizing. So you think that do you think that this was a white church where they posted up the sign saying Black folks need to stay out of white churches, or you think it was a Black church posting up the sign saying Black folks need to stay out of white churches? What you think? I haven't read the article. It's just the headline. It's coming off of Atlanta Black Star. It's a Black church. Peace, hey Rue, Apocalypse. Welcome on the chat. Yeah. Yep. Did you already know? Did you know? Did you know that it was a Black church? Sonia sees. Sonia sees. Sonia. Did you know Pastor Michael Jordan is strongly opposed to a white mega church setting up shop in the inner city? Yeah, that's him right there. He's unambiguously Black too. He say Black folks, stay your behinds out of white churches. Truck bursts into flames on motorway. Sorry, not murderway, motorway. So they just driving down the highway and the thing burst into flames. But I think it was in Texas, and I don't think it was just driving down the highway and burst into. Last thing the inner city needs is another church. One thing I don't need is any more apologies. I got sorry greeting me at my front doorstep. You can keep yours. I don't know what to do with them. They don't bring the sun back or make me happy. They don't do something or get the morning paper. Didn't nobody stop something because of sorry? Okay. So it was in Texas, and it caught fire after crashing into the Central Reservation. Now, do you know what the Central Reservation is? You could probably tell from the context that it's that that concrete divider between northbound traffic and southbound, or eastbound and westbound traffic. But I never heard it called a Central Reservation. I don't know why the truck crashed into it. So yeah, that was in Texas. So neutral ground, the reservation, that's what it means, neutral ground. Yeah, I've never heard. I've only heard it used like, we have a reservation for dinner tonight at 7, or I have my reservations about this person, or else, the the white folks violated, treaty after treaty after treaty, and now most of Native folks live on the reservation. I've been to a reservation, not the. So I don't know if again, just peace. Never heard it called reservation. Yeah, I never heard. Oh, neutral ground. You heard it called neutral ground. I never heard it called neutral ground. I don't know what I heard. I was trying to remember what I've heard it called, but I couldn't remember. I'm a little sickly. Not that kind of sickly. Median. That's what I've heard it called, the median. Yes, Sonia. That's what I've heard it called, the median. Okay. Ooh. Look, we got an exciting story today. Remember yesterday when I said every day we should have a conversation about Black people protesting, saying no, resisting enslavement, bull, dehumanization, all of that, right? So we talked yesterday about the first Maroon War. Today, Black Then. Thank you, Black Then. 20 times 2, 40 claps for Black Then for bringing us some stories, some information, some some consciousness, because this is something I've heard of Maroons before. We've heard of Maroons before, but I've never heard of Oge, Vincent Oge, OGE. What's with all the damn clapping? I'm clapping because I'm happy. That's why I'm clapping. Is it real loud in your ears? Is it like annoying? Like, what is wrong with her? Cut it out. Or is it just the happiness? If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Yay! What's that? Flags and love. Vincent Oge. Cool. Okay. Vincent Oge. So, okay, now, and this again, we talk about this whole, like, who is who is black? Is it identifying as black? Because in this case, we're gonna have to claim this person as black because they identified as black and they was fighting for us, right? Hey, August Dreams, that's how I feel. But Malcolm X birthday, May 19th, WBAI Online from New York City, a radio station speaking on it. Oh, okay. I think the museum will be having something. Every year they do something for Malcolm X, usually Malcolm X Day. Usually they do, one time, it might be birthday or death day, they do like like a whole weekend thing. It seemed like it. Born to a white man of wealth and a freed black woman in 1755. Remember, this country was founded in 1776. Vincent Oge was a free man of color who was one of the main voices against white rule in Saint-Domingue, later Haiti. He would use his education and status to ignite the Oge Rebellion. Hey! Same day of that damn wedding. Hello, August Dreams. Oh, Toussaint. Hello. Hello, Toussaint. Welcome, y'all. Come on, sit a while. Grab some water, some tea. Come on, sit a spell. Sit a spell. I got something to tell you. I want to tell you about this man, Vincent Oge. He would use his education and status to ignite the Oge Rebellion in the French colony during late 1790. So, are you using your education and status? What are you using your education and status for? What are you using your resources for? What are you using your blessings for? Is it in service to yourself and your family? Yourself, your family, and your community? What are you using your resources and your blessings in service to? Maybe we need to take a moment to examine and figure out if we need to, refine some things. There's nothing wrong with refining some things. It's good to refine. It might be time to refine some things, figure out how we can use our resources in better service to the people, our people. Okay, so 1790, that's right. Vincent Oge's upbringing. He was born to Jacques Oge and Jacqueline Osse, OSSE. Vincent was one of 8 children. The Oge's family wealth came from a coffee plantation on the colony. The plantation was located in London, where his mother would go into business, supplying meat to butchers in the parish. Young Vincent proved to be a child with promise. He received an education in Bordeaux, France, before returning to the colony to work with his uncle, also named Vincent Oge. His uncle lived in the main city of Cap Français and worked as a merchant. Inspiration strikes. During 1789, Oge was representing his uncle's business in Paris when the French Revolution started. Now, this French Revolution seemed to be like a really significant thing for the Haitian people who were educated. It seemed like it was really inspirational. Seeing how the revolution bloodily forced a change in France, he brought the same ideas back to Saint-Domingue. While not the first to do so, Auger would speak with plantation owners to make the laws more favorable toward light-skinned black men, regardless of status. Oh no! He was a colorist. We gonna keep reading. As it stood, the laws only favored light-skinned black men if they were well-educated and wealthy. It seems like many of us are self-serving in our pursuits and residuals. Residuals? It does seem like that. I think we have to, we got to check ourselves. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. It ain't me, it's we. We got to check that. That's why we got to talk about it and check ourselves, not just other. We really can't check nobody else. We can only check ourselves. I don't know what's in your heart. I don't know what you're doing. Absolutely, sister. Um, so as it stood, the laws only favored light-skinned black men if they were well-educated and wealthy. Let all the light-skinned people have privilege. The rest of them black, dark Negroes, forget them. But the light-skins, the elites, all of us should have privilege. Now, I think there's something faulty in that thinking. If you think it's because I'm black, get out of here with those residuals. As expected, the idea was rejected, and Auger headed to France with another wealthy black named Julien Raymond, and a white lawyer, Etienne de Jolet. The intent was to push for the French government to change the laws directly. So instead of talking to you, I'm going to talk to your masters. I'm going to talk to your boss. I'm going to talk to your supervisor and see if I can get some better rights for all of the light skins. To alleviate fears that it could turn into a dismantling of slavery in the French colony and create a precedent, the trio stated they didn't want to do away with slavery. Instead, the goal was voting rights for wealthy free men of color. Since a number of free men of color who came from wealth held slaves, Auger and Raymond, and see, I think a lot of times when we're analyzing the system, I think, again, this whole idea of self-servingness, I think a lot of times we don't want to dismantle the system. We don't want to change the system. We just want to change our position in it. So we want to keep the hierarchical thing going. I just don't want to be on the bottom of the hierarchy. That's how a lot of us think. And I think hierarchies are BS. I think when you're like, this person is better and this person is worse, this person is more valuable than this person, I think that's some bull personally. And I think it's a recipe for mess and confusion and disaster. I'm not here for it. I'm just not here for it. And so I think when you're like, well, no, we hold, like we just want to be, we're not opposed to slavery. I'm just opposed to me being enslaved. I don't care about that black biatch over there. She could be enslaved. Just don't enslave me. Okay. Auger and Raymond, wealthy freemen, would only add to the political strength to keep slavery in place. We gonna help keep this system strong, massa. That's what we's gonna do. We not opposed to the system. We like the system. We like it a lot. We like having enslaved people. We like having slaves, people we can beat and exploit. That's good for us, just like it's good for you. As Vincent Auger would find out, France preferred everything in place as it was in the moment. They like, we happy with the stuff, nigga. Excuse my language. Niger, however you say it in French. They treated their mixed offspring better. When they felt like they was going like, yes, treat us better. And the French is like, it's all good. You good, Negro. Stay in your place. We really don't care about the system as long as it oppresses the other person. Right. We have to be vigilant against the oppression, it's not okay. And it's not okay. Sometimes I feel like when I listen to us, I'm like, it's not cool. Like to me, just the way we process some stuff, it's not productive, and it just seems like we should be able to have empathy. Like we've experienced discrimination, we've experienced mess, and then we turn around and we want to, adios to God. Are you leaving or coming? Adios. Buenas noches. Hasta luego. So we have to each personally, I think, take responsibility for being correct. We can't, I don't think we could. I think it's a big enough job to police ourselves and to police that in ourselves, like to watch out for that. And because it's very seductive. I think it's seductive. I think it's seductive. There's something attractive about it. We have to fight it. Be like, no, Satan, get thee behind me. No, you cute, but you ain't that cute. Um, Soon France would find that this would prove to be a problem for his colony by the end of 1890. So I don't know what the OJ rebellion was because they didn't really tell us in the article, and the article is over. So I guess by the end of 1890, he caused a rebellion. I don't know. I feel a little conflicted about OJ. Having read about him, when I read the headline, I was like all like excited because didn't I give it 20 by 240? Now I'm gonna take some of that back. We're gonna take it down to point two. Point two claps. Mess. Okay. Parents angered after, and the thing is, we don't even have that type of luxury to be that damn arrogant white folks. Something. Parents angered after teacher plays Childish Gambino's "This Is America" video in class. So this teacher, I think it was a computer teacher. I think he was playing when the children came to computer class. He was playing "This Is America." So a lot of children got it. What do you think about that? Have you seen the video? Do you think it's appropriate for children? Do you think that children are unaware that people are being shot in the streets? Like, do you think that children are your children, are children that are around you? Do they seem to be like disconnected and really protected and sheltered from, the vileness and the violence that is America? I'm curious. You know, because these, I feel like they be on YouTube. I don't know. It seems like they be out here, but maybe that's just from my observation. Um, Trader Joe's former president launched an even cheaper grocery store and has a huge vision for changing how Americans buy food. If they watch the mainstream media for news. So it's something called the Daily Table. He said that what he found out, he was surprised by a lot of the reasons why people are hungry. Part of the reason why people is hungry part of the reason that people are hungry is because they don't want to accept food stamps. I think part of the reason that people don't want to accept food stamps is because there's been so much shame and humiliation associated with, people supporting and helping each other, or people needing support and help. I'll say the Black children are aware of things going on around them. Yeah. Um, so he started his company. It's like in Hattiesburg they had this type of company. It's like well, not exactly this type of company, but Hattiesburg had grocery stores that were like salvage places who won't accept food stamps. That's what the research has shown, that a lot of hunger. Well, there were two things. So there are these salvage places where it's like food that's being discarded for whatever reason. It may be close to the expiration date. Maybe the grocery store doesn't think it's going to sell. Maybe it was a fire in this part of the store, but they was able to get these 5 bags of chips from over here. And it's like, but so you can go in and you can find that's federal money. You can go in and you can find some kind of deals, but it's kind of like some of the stuff is really inexpensive, but also some of the stuff is expired. It's like it's a weird thing. Like, I had to be like hyper vigilant when I went in that store, but I did find some things that were like, whoa, this, especially when I was eating more processed foods, like the vegetarian, I don't know what it was that I was getting, but it might be $4 or $5 at the health food store, and you could get it for like $1.25 there, or whatever. A lot of that stuff I don't even buy. Is that how the 99-cent store works? I didn't know. I thought they were buying their food, straight and direct. I didn't realize they were getting salvage food at the 99-cent store, or at the dollar store. So that's kind of the model for the store. So he was surprised by two things. I think one thing is the idea that a lot of Americans are malnourished even though we're fat. We're big, but we're not getting the nutrients. We eat a lot of food, but we're not getting nutrition. So we're malnourished. We're sick because of that. And then the other thing he said that he found that surprised him is how many people wouldn't take food. What that made me think about carbs, yeah, and drinking sugar. What that made me think about was, in my meditation community, you can't pay to go on a meditation junk food. You can't pay to go on the meditation retreat. You can choose to make a donation afterwards if you feel so called to, but you can't pay in advance. And so then part of it is because it puts you in the position of being like a monk or a nun, they say, so that you are there and you have to receive. You're putting yourself in a position to receive help, which is a part of your spiritual growth and development, which I thought was just like a really interesting idea. Sometimes I think, in general, I think that women are more receptive than men, but I think especially like for Black women, sometimes we have a difficult time receiving. But I just thought it was interesting that that was like a spiritual principle, like being receptive. Like, so you can't be like, I paid my good money to get the food that I want. I want my vegetarian meal and I want it like this. No, you're there like with your begging bowl like everybody else, and you have to take and make do with what is offered. Which it ain't never no. I'm a picky eater, and I feel like I know if I can eat for 10 days, then anybody can eat for 10 days. At a Vipassana retreat. But I just thought that principle was interesting. Helplessness to receive help, deep. Yeah. Um, and so I just thought of like this whole like shaming that sometimes I'll see on the TV, where it's like, oh, you're poor, you need help, you're awful, you're the pits, boo on you, you ain't nothing, you're an awful terrible person. And I think a lot of people have a lot of shame, about where they are economically in this country, even though, there's people like, it's not like anybody wakes up in the morning or wakes up at birth or is born and it's like, oh, or I guess some people could argue that when you're born, you might choose your circumstances, but like, oh, I want to be poor today. Oh, I don't want to have enough food to eat. Oh, I want to not know, if I'm gonna be able to pay my rent. Oh, maybe I won't have electricity this month. That'll be exciting. Oh, I'm gonna do it in the wintertime. Oh, I can't afford my water. Oh, that's a fun adventure. No water to drink. Like, I don't think, but I think that there is a lot of shame associated with, poverty and with going to, an office. And, so anyway, I just thought that whole, conversation was interesting. It's been a white supremacist talking point for the last 40 years. All this country does is shame you on everything, right? It's like it's a professional career. I mean, it's like a calling, like a ministry, like what's really going on. But yeah, so I was kind of like excited when I read the article, like, oh, Trader Joe's, another restaurant that's going to be even cheaper than Trader Joe's, because I really do enjoy Aldi in a way. But I don't know. The article kind of brought up some stuff where it's like I feel like I need to process it some more. They only have two of that. It's called the harvest table or some kind of table, but they only have two, and that's not anywhere this regional to me. But I guess it's because that's if it's that salvage food, it kind of made me feel a certain way. But the other thing that he was talking about is the fact that so much food is thrown away. There are people who are hungry, and then there's food that's thrown away. And I've been in, I told y'all this. I remember working for somebody who, I don't even like, like I do like my bananas ripe, but then once they get too ripe, I'll be like, ugh. I'm not really like a banana bread maker or whatever. But the chef had thrown some bananas away, and it's just like offensive to me. I'm like, there's food thrown away. I'm like, I could freeze that and use it in a smoothie. I guess I'll take it. And he wanted to charge me for it after he had thrown it away. And it was kind of like, wow, that's like an interesting dynamic, because I really wasn't like, ooh, I really want those bananas. I just felt like stressed out to see them thrown away. So many businesses and conglomerates depend on folks who get welfare and food stamps, right? And they're the main receivers of benefit, of things that they didn't necessarily earn and things that they don't necessarily deserve, and they're wealthy, you know. I mean, it's a trick bag, They've gotten lazy with their talking points. That's why they have to resort to killing Black people. They like, oh, forget it. I can't think of nothing to say. Just die. That's what they do. They always threaten to cut us off, but never do. Yeah. Um, More of them on food stamps than us. Yeah. And I feel like the whole it's like whenever they say something, I'm learning more and more. It's like if they like you lazy, that's their way of saying I'm lazy. If they like you a thief, that means they stealing. I just like now it's kind of like I used at first I thought I had like was like on to something like, oh, the white man said the slaves, the enslaved Africans were lazy. But who was working from sun up to sundown? It's black men. They wasn't the lazy ones, it was white men. I was like, whoa, this is a revelation. And now I'm like, it's the same old tired shit stuff. Whenever they say something, just, figure they talking about themselves, you know? You feel me too. Yeah. So, um, here's why Serena Williams walked down the aisle without her father on her wedding day. I didn't know she didn't have her father there on her wedding day. When I saw that headline, I was like, oh my gosh, because I kind of felt like, to me, her father is the one who, in my head, he had a dream. He was like, oh, tennis players make that much money? I'm about to have me 2 tennis players. The next 2 children that come out of this woman's womb, they about to be tennis players. And then he did it. And I just thought it was like magical and amazing and like awesome and like, wow. I don't know. I've always been like, awestruck by Venus Williams' father because of that. So I'm like, wow, and it seemed like she got estranged from him over the year, or Venus and Serena seemed like they were separated over the years, and I didn't really know what was going on. So when I saw the headline, I'm like, oh my gosh, her daddy wasn't even at her wedding. Is it because he's like, she's marrying a white guy? What happened? Did he have any sons? I think he got a bunch of kids. I think he had 8 or 9 children. And I think Serena and Venus are like on the younger end. And I think that some of them are boys, but I don't know for sure. But he says he's just gotten like, what she said is that he texted her the day before or the day of the wedding and said he's not going to be able to walk her down the aisle. That, it's just too much pressure and he's getting so nervous. Yeah, it might be because that's what I thought the article was going to say, but that's not what she said. So I don't know what's true. But it certainly brought up, some stuff because there's something about him that I just think, oh, that daddy is something. I'm like, how did he do that? I'm just gonna have some tennis stars. And then there they are. It's like magic. He's like the magician in the tarot deck. It's very exciting to me. Americans are having fewer kids. He sure stuck with them girls, yeah. Americans are having fewer kids than ever before, fueling fears of a demographic time bomb. Now, this language I've seen used in articles, I think, about Japan. He did not want her to marry that man. I don't know. Is that what he said? That's white folks behind closed doors, family dynamics, yeah. Americans are having fewer kids and demographic time bomb. So we saw this in an article about Japan. I was thinking about that and conflated with the Ebola article earlier, or the Ebola headline. But I was curious also, like, what Americans are Black and brown Americans having, fewer kids, or just white Americans? I mean, I'm just wondering, because I think in general worldwide, white people tend to be less, productive in lots of ways, but what I mean. It's in August. Shaking my head. What's in August? It is August. It is August. Oh, it is August. You're talking to August Dreams. I finally got it. Okay. Everything we know about the mysterious $1.5 million apartment Melania Trump owns in Trump Tower. Now, what was interesting to me about that is that I'm always sort of curious in the context of relationships, how like resources are distributed. Like when a woman marries a man, especially if the man has wealth, I always wonder, like, does he give her an I'm sure every couple is different. Did he give her an engagement gift? What did he give her? Does he give her a gift when she gets married, when they get married? What did he give her? So I'm wondering if Trump gave her, this $1.5 million apartment, like as a push, when people have children, they call them push presents or something. There are like all sorts of ways to like transfer wealth and, to sort of like, and it might be part of the prenup because we saw with Mariah Carey when she was dating the guy. They weren't, I guess I don't know if they had a prenup or a dating up or what, but there was like some kind of like, any gifts that I've given you, if I didn't say on the note that they were a gift, then they not a gift and you got to give them back. Break up or all of this, like, it's like it's a whole. So it just made me kind of curious and got me thinking about, sort of how certain things are negotiated in the context of, relationships with finances and stuff. Blackish creator Kenya Barris prepping two new projects for big and small screens. So I guess there's some conversation that he's leaving Blackish, but I guess he's gonna be at Blackish for another year. He doing something else for Freeform because he has Grownish on Freeform, so he's doing something else for Freeform. And I guess he's working on some movie. He gave her the last name Trump. They might have some other stuff negotiated. That's what it made me think when I saw that she owned that I don't care for the men getting on the knee proposal. Where did that come from? I don't know. I don't know much about that tradition. Um, but I do kind of feel like, like I feel like I don't know if it's like a modern day thing. I'm not really sure what it is, but I do think that a lot of times, in my opinion and in my observation, I think as women jump over the broom. I think as women, like I think that there's something to be said for a man clearly stating their intentions and that they want you and that they want to be with you. Whether they get down on their knee or however they do it. White fairy tales. However they do it, I think that it's important to me for the male energy to be the leadership in that context. In particular, and probably some other contexts as well. I haven't really thought as much about other contexts as that. But, I think a lot of times we're like driving the agenda and trying to push the relationship and trying to, drag him down the aisle and drag him onto his knee to propose. And I don't know. It doesn't, it's like it don't feel good here for me. And it seemed like whenever, maybe I'm like biased, but it seems like whenever, like, I have girlfriends, hey, Kendrick, when like I have girlfriends who, when it feels like it's that kind of vibration to me, it seems like it always ends up being some mess and some confusion. Now, this from somebody who, I'm not, I guess everybody got their mess and confusion. So I'm not saying, but I'm just saying, hey, Delina Robinson, hey, Kendrick. So yeah. Now they say I was listening to something the other day that was saying that this whole concept of romantic marriage, even in this country, was a product of Hollywood. That throughout the world and throughout this country, for the most part, people married for convenience, not for romantic love. That this romantic love thing came, within the last 150 years. I don't know, but it's like a recent creation, just like the color pink as a feminine color is a recent creation. That hasn't always been, light blue for boys, pink for girls. That hasn't always been the case. Um, oh, Mary Jane, thank you for being a moderator. I appreciate you being here. And I don't know what you're doing behind the scenes, but I appreciate it. Um, so, and that's sort of interesting too. Marco's mom married into a white trash family. Um, yeah, I don't, yeah. I mean, and I was listening to somebody who was talking about, in terms of like, social climbing and hierarchies that we were talking about, or she was talking about, dang, what's the sister's name? She does reviews on Potomac. And so there's a couple, that sister is on meth. There's a couple that is where it's like a white man and a black woman. And that's like a becoming a theme on Potomac. I'm not exactly sure why. I don't know if that's common in that community or what. I don't really understand. I'm not really in the DC area. I know that my impression of DC is that it's very much known for the very, 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 very light skinned black people, in terms of the social elite. Um, but that her family, or that even though this one child, Marker, looks like she doesn't even belong to her parents. I've never seen her parents. It seemed like I've seen her mother someplace, but I told y'all I saw a picture of her the other day, and her hair was curly. It was like a baby, a child. She was like 5, and I was like, oh, she is black. It's something about seeing the curly hair to kind of. Because before I've been like, that child ain't no board. That child ain't black. No more black than I'm white. But I don't know. But so her the black woman marrying into what you would refer to trad family. I don't really like to I don't know, but into a family that's not as well established is okay, or it has there's value because of the white privilege. And so maybe that's what Marco's mother felt that she was doing, or maybe she just fell in love. I don't know. I don't really, I don't know. I don't know. um they never talk about the black side of her family, just the trashy Caucasoids. Oh, I haven't paid much attention, but that's kind of interesting. I wonder who the black side is. This is special. She's worth way more than him like that. I was wondering about her black relatives. Interesting. I never even thought about it. Interesting. Okay. I haven't paid enough attention to even have noticed that, but now I'm going to try to pay attention. Not really, probably. I wonder if they're going to make her mom wear a wig. Right, because I was like, so she straightened her hair to make it look like that? Why don't she just wear her hair natural? It's just kind of like, I think I already talked about it, but I was just kind of like, oh. Alabama man weeps after jury convicts him of killing unarmed teen over lunchbox. He said the child took his lunchbox and that he told the child, stop, don't take my lunchbox. I'm going to shoot. And so he started shooting warning shots and the boy ran away. And that, the boy got shot in the head and killed, but that he was only trying to shoot one shot. And he said he had thousands of dollars in his lunchbox and a weapon, but the lunchbox and the weapon and the money was never recovered. So the jury convicted him of killing. I don't know what he was sentenced to. So this is like, I guess, an old story if we're already at the point where the jury is convicting. And he cried. I guess he cried because it is so unusual for them to get convicted of anything when it has to do with us. So I guess he just was thinking he was going to be out here just, killing the boy and not, nothing was going to happen to him. And so I guess it's like it's all fun and games until you're behind, have to go to jail. Ooh, I'm just out here killing people. Um, the Wakanda salute a Black Power salute? Was it created by white people? So the baby who made his transition, his name is Mustafa Beerfield. So they call him the white guy, the George Zimmerman of Alabama. So this image has both people in it, or both of them in it. I don't know. I'm still re-examining and trying to understand the concept of people. But the baby boy who made his transition. So rest in peace to him and his family and his community. I don't know if it brings any comfort to his family for the man to have been convicted. I kind of feel like, with all of this stuff, it's like I don't know how to be satisfied about it. Like I feel like, millions more should have been convicted, and the conviction doesn't even begin to compensate us. So I just feel like I'm not satisfied. You know what I mean? Like I'm just not happy about it. But if it brings comfort to his family and his community, then blessings on it. But yeah, he's 16 years old. And I mean, you just imagine the last moments of his life. Like I do not think that, I don't know, but it's hard I don't think he took the man's lunchbox. Man, I'm using that term lightly. I think it was just some sort of sport and entertainment for that white person, um, you know, So, just imagine the horror at the end of your life, like it's just, I don't know. It's just like somebody shooting at you, yelling at you, chasing you, all of that. That's just like, and even like, as I was becoming vegetarian, people talk about, when, because of the way that the slaughterhouses, a lot of them are set up, the animals are in terror and they know when they're making their transition. And some of them are like running for their lives, like, oh my God, trying to get away before they kill them. And so then certain chemicals run through your body when you're in terror, And, I just imagine, like, of course, he was not eating physically, but the spirit. I forgot his name. So you're eating fear, right? Exactly. It's like an adrenaline rush. It's like, it's like feeding something. That's what I feel like. I feel like they're feeding, on us, and on the vibration and on the anger and on the distress and on the agony and it's like it's a lot of emotions that are generated by this kind of stuff. And I think it's like I think it's like I think it's like an energy. We were talking about vampires yesterday, but I think that there's something energetic going on with that. um so I feel like, he need to cry, but does that start to like turn you into a human being? I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I don't think he's crying for what he did. I think he's crying for, the idea of the white people not standing up and being like, yay, we think you're great and wonderful for killing, the poor black child. You know what I mean? um Nearly 51 million households in the United States can't afford basics like rent and food. Loss of freedom. Yeah, yeah. Um, and it's kind of like, I feel like, emotions, like, like when we talk like this idea of like loss of freedom, I feel like your emotional state is a freedom. Like when we were talking at the beginning of the chat, like, hey, today we ordering up a good day, we choosing to have a good day. We're not letting, we're not giving, the decision over to other people to decide whether we happy or not. We decide and we happy right now. And so it's sort of like, I think that there's something that happens when some people see that we're happy and that we're not beat down and that we're creating beauty and that we're thriving and that we're out here, woo, I think it's like it's something where they want to like shift that energy and redirect that energy to them. Like when we out here happy and doing the do and partying and at the barbecue and golf, we having fun with each other, we enjoy, and it's like it's not all about them. And so I think it's like if they can, refocus that energy back on them, then, it's like a win for them, or it's like there's some benefit. It seemed like in that movie, Two Can Play That Game. They used to be my favorite movie. I think that's like a whole concept, envious of our energy and the freedom, like, yeah, the loss of freedom. Like here we are feeling like carefree, happy. And then now all of a sudden we hear this story and it shifts the way that we feel. So like the freedom to feel the way that we were feeling has shifted. Peace. So in Heat Piece of Yapo. So in Two Can Play That Game, there's like a whole conversation about it always has to be about white people, according to white people. Then we started off talking about blackity black, 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 blackity black, black, black. Have any of y'all heard that song? That might be my new favorite song. But and he talks about, what you want to do. Like the couple has broken up and they like, and so his friend is telling him, look, she moved on, but don't let her move on. What you got to do is you got to go over to her house and you got to get her to engage in some type of emotion with you. It doesn't matter if it's love or not. You just got to get some feeling. And there's been research that's been done. I remember hearing this, that like, when you date, why it's so important to do something like go to a horror film or because if you both experience that adrenaline rush together, then it bonds you. If there was this research done where they had people in a room and they were like asking them about their emotions, and they had somebody come in the room and be like, oh, it's such an awful day, they want us to fill out this paper, this is dumb. Ugh. And then almost all of the people were like, saying that their emotions were like bad. And then they had somebody else come in the room who's like in another room with another group of people, and they were like, oh, This is wonderful. I love these. And then all of the people were, so like that transference of emotion, that transference of energy, and, how he deliberately went over to the woman's house to try to get her to be mad at him so that she wouldn't move on, so that she would stay engaged in the relationship with him. Because, they say the opposite of hate is not love, or the opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. Like when you like whatever, that's when it's a wrap. Not when I'm like, I hate you, I'm so mad at you, I'm still engaged, you still got my energy. It's when I'm like, oh, white people, okay. But as long as I'm like, I hate them, they, we still participating in that same game, that same that same that same energy exchange. And it's like, as soon as we try to withdraw from it, they it's some systems, it's some strategies to draw us back in. And it's time for us, it's time for me to, like, it's a wrap for that for me. It's a wrap. I'm wrapping that up. We gonna let that be something that was in the past. So nearly 51 million households in the United States can't afford basics. Basics like rent and food. So I guess this study will probably, I'm imagining that this study will be getting a lot of headlines, taking it from various perspectives. It's a study by United Way, the Alice Project. I'm not familiar with what the Alice Project is. But the gap between the wealthy and the poor in this country is perhaps the biggest that it's been in any of our lifetimes. Don't earn nearly 51 million households don't earn enough to afford a monthly budget that includes housing, food, childcare, healthcare, transportation, and a cell phone. And a cell phone, according to the study. That's 43% of the households in the United States. That's like half. 43%. 43 is not quite half, but it's really, really close. It's really, really close. Y'all let it out with all that foolishness. It's really, really close to half. That's a lot. That's like if you got, 2 or 3 people in the room, then one person is really, really, really struggling. That's a lot. 16.1 million households living in poverty, as well as 34.7 million families that the United Way has dubbed ALICE. Oh, now we'll know what the acronym stands for. Asset Limited, Income Constrained, Employed. Ooh, you employed, but your assets is limited and your income is constrained. Ew. This group makes less than what's needed to survive in the modern economy. In America today, 66% of all jobs pay less than $20 an hour. 66% of jobs pay less than $20 an hour. You cannot support a middle-class family on $20 an hour. As a result, many Americans are working more than one job, and in many households, both the mother and the father are working more than one job. Housing costs account for the biggest item in most family budgets. The fact that housing costs have continued to soar is putting a huge amount of financial stress on hardworking families. Yeah. And then they talk about San Francisco. We were talking about San Francisco yesterday. I really don't know what a sloppy second is. Yeah, I don't know, understand that concept either. We were talking about because I mean, unless you like 15 or 12, I think it's like if it's like if I know you and then it's like that's my sloppy seconds. What you doing with my old man? Ew, girl, that's nasty. You nasty. We not cool. That's old. I already been there and done that. um So we talked yesterday about the housing crisis in dang, I wish I could cut the comments off. We talked about yesterday in the housing crisis in San Francisco. And so they were talking a little bit about people saying, well, shoot, if it's so expensive in San Francisco, then why don't y'all move someplace else? And, you know, he was saying, which is interesting because this is a blog. I don't know when I subscribed to it, but at some point I realized, oh my gosh, this blog is supporting Trump. And I've been meaning to unsubscribe to it for forever. And I just haven't. On my RSS feed, I get confused about how to undo what I've done. So I haven't undone it or spent time and tried to figure it out. But, he was saying, so I was kind of surprised even when I saw the headline. I'm like, what he gonna be talking about? So I was kind of surprised. But and so it's sort of like, yeah, when people are like, yeah, you live in New Orleans, you know it's gonna flood, you know it's gonna be a hurricane, why don't you just move someplace else? San Francisco is terrible for poor folks, and it's like your support system is there, your job system is there, your life is there, what you're used to is there. I mean, I like to, you know, I've lived in different places. How many different places have I lived? I lived in Detroit. That's one. And I've lived here 3 times, 3 different times I've lived here, I think. Detroit, New York, New Jersey, but that doesn't really count. Virginia, that doesn't really count. Toronto, that doesn't really count. India, that doesn't really count. Detroit, New York, Detroit, Mississippi, and Detroit. So I basically lived in 5 places. I mean, but I basically lived in 3 places, just 5 different times. I chose the first time I didn't choose Detroit. But, you know, moving to a place is a production. You know, you don't have family there. You don't have friends there. You know, part of the reason why I'm in Detroit is because I'm like in the middle of Mississippi. I'm like, we ain't got, if some stuff go down, who gonna have our back? What kind of work were you doing? In Silicon Valley or in where? I've done all different kinds of work. Which one do you like the most? I love Detroit the most because it's black, 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 blackity black. And because it's Detroit, like maybe because I'm from Detroit, but I feel like Detroiters are like creative and like, it's like a certain like, you know, that like Detroiters have that I feel like I haven't really seen it Black Bottom. Yeah, I haven't. My granddaddy had a shoe shine shop in Black Bottom. I haven't really seen, you know, I haven't really felt that vibe anywhere else. And I think it's because, you know, we had that black mayor for like 20 years, and the black mayor we had was a labor organizer, and he had already told the people what they could do with them questioning him being they racist behind. Yeah, Detroit has spunk. You know, Detroit, like people, like now people come and they're like, oh, there are murals in Detroit. The artists are bringing back Detroit. I'm like, Detroit has always been back. Detroit ain't never been nowhere. And Detroit has always been art. Detroit has always been art. Like Detroit is like, it ain't no, like you go and it's like, I like New York. I like New York. I like New York. And there were things I liked about Toronto. Like I like the world, like I like how there were so many people in the world from New York, and I like how New York was the kind of place where, you know, it was full of people who got up off of their behinds and went someplace to get it. Like this like full of people who are like going to get it. I like that. It's rough all over. Wages have been stagnant since the 70s, but prices keep rising according to economists. If today's workers were paid according to production, yeah, $25 an hour. So I like the you know, it's like a vibration in New York. Why can't they buy up those properties? It's like a vibe. People, because there's a whole, you know, like I feel like you have like there's a whole context in Detroit. You know, because when Coleman Young came into, in the same way to me that Haiti has gotten like hate for being black and being unapologetically black, I feel like Detroit has gotten hate for being black and unapologetically black. So there are some people who have gone out of their way to undermine and hurt Detroit. And to like, you know, anything that the Mayor Coleman Young tried to do to try to undermine it and like, you know, to isolate Detroit in the context of the community. And like, you know, there was just like a lot of like hostility. People, a lot of times, a lot of those properties, like when people talk about like, oh, Detroit, a lot of times the image that you see, there's this one image of a train station that was built that never became, well, it was occupied for a short time, but it never became, and so it's this big hulking abandoned building. And so when people see that, they're like, this is, and it's promoted a lot as the symbol of like the decline of Detroit. But see, what people don't know is that that building is owned by somebody named Matty Maroon. Matty Maroon and his family are millionaires. They own the bridge that goes between Detroit and Windsor. Right now, they're blocking the building of another bridge between Detroit and Windsor because it's privately owned. There's a whole history behind why it was privately owned. But he owns that train station. He's owned that train station and let it sit there and rot for day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, not century, but decade after decade. And it's like plenty of, like a lot of the properties around here are owned by people who are not here. Like that's a whole conversation. The bankruptcy, like it's like, I feel like it's a lot. And I feel like a lot of the stuff is like propaganda. And Detroit had, unlike almost any other place first of all, we have the most single family houses. If we don't have the most single family houses in the country, we're way, 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 way up there. And there was way more Black ownership here because there was way more of a Black middle class here. So when you look at that housing crisis that affected people, where the subprime mortgage crisis, and when you hear about the fact that, Black people with good credit were charged way more for their houses and were given subprime mortgages when, their credit did not warrant it, Black people being taken advantage of, you're going to see that disproportionately in Detroit because Detroit is disproportionately Black. It's like all of like the attack of Black people, economically, and in a lot of ways you see it intensified here, but always follow the money. That's where you're going to find the true story. I feel like I don't even I'm not even prepared to have a coherent conversation about it, but I feel like, there's a whole bunch of propaganda bullshit. It's not like a lot, like, and the more, every time you learn, it's like, oh, of course it's bull. That's what's happening in New Orleans. And then a lot of people, I don't know if it's true or not, but the people say that the engineers knew, the State Department of Engineers, what are the people called? That the engineers knew that New Orleans was ripe for flooding, and that they kind of wanted to move them people out so that they could, so when you go to the 8th Ward and like you see all of that stuff it's like it disproportionately affected us. I don't know a lot about New Orleans, just like a little bit of what I've seen and heard when I was in that region. But I'm sure it's the same story, similar stories. But I think Detroit is intensified because of how often are you in Dearborn and Pontotoc? You're right, engineers and city planners, they blew those levees. Yeah. I don't do Dearborn very much. When I was a child, now I do like Middle Eastern food, but I tried to get my Middle Eastern food in Detroit. But when I was a child, there was I knew who you were talking about. When I was a child, when I was a teenager, there's a mall in Dearborn called Fairlane. And so there was like a boycott of Fairlane. So I went away to college. When I went away to college, it's like, we don't go to Fairlane. And when I came back, everybody was going to Fairlane, but I never go. I'm not a mall person anyway, but I don't go to Fairlane. I don't really like to go to Dearborn. I really don't like to go to the suburbs. But yeah, I feel like despite, in the same way that you could like look at Black people and be like, oh, well, Black people are so smart, beautiful, and talented, then why the F is your life so jacked up, Black people? Like I feel like you could look at Detroit and say the same thing, but I don't necessarily have that analysis. I feel like when you look at Detroit, you're seeing some beauty and some power in the context of a whole bunch of bull, So a lot of wealth that Black people had accumulated in Detroit has been stripped of, families, so you're seeing like way less, like there used to just be like Black neighborhood after Black neighborhood. Like when you see the housing stock in Detroit, and like when like Palmer Wood, Sherwood Forest, Boston Edison, like it there are some and black folks just owning stuff beautifully maintained, even like where the community center is, where we used to do Rosedale Park. I mean, it's communities I never even really heard of until I was an adult, but like just beautiful, beautiful houses owned by black people, well maintained. But you know, a lot of that stuff has shifted around, you know, as a lot of that stuff shifted around with generational wealth. And then also not with well with also with elders, I'm not sure, but I'm curious to know how many people got these reverse mortgages as well. That was a product I was kind of watching when I was in Mississippi, like what the hell. And I'm like curious to know, you know, what impact it had, you know, here. And then, you know, the same jobs that people were able to get 5, 10, you know, 20, 30 years ago, those jobs are not here, you know. So yeah, whatever. Yeah. How easy is it to get an illegal EU passport, European Union? I don't know how easy it is. Did you ever have a fake ID? When I was a child, when I was a teen, I had a fake ID. Mine was from out of state, and then I'd just be like, "Oh, I'm from out of state." That's why it looked different. Going to plant the you know what? I was born old. That sounds like a blues song, or I don't know, some kind of song, like a lyric. I was born. Oh, that's Born by the River. And we gotta have a whole nother tune for it. But you know, it sounds like a song. Write a song. Another smart luggage brand shuts down amid new regulations. So I think these smart luggages where they're supposed to charge your phone. Me too, a Yapo. Then I grew down. No, don't grow down. You were born a fool. Lord have mercy. Singapore's measures to reduce short sightedness as in nearsightedness. I don't think I've ever heard that expression before. Like, I think of myself as nearsighted, but I'm like a short sighted. Like, wait a second, what are you trying to say? It's kind of interesting because, like, the white woman who does all the affirmations related to health, you know, she would probably say that nearsightedness is not wanting to see things, you know, far away. Just I'm just gonna stay focused on this tree, not the forest, you know. So yeah, so they have some techniques to make people. Hey, Nicole Ali, they have some techniques to make people not be blind and or you know have the eye challenges that I have. They say it's relatively simple. Simple but innovative solutions. Myopia, that's what it's called. Myopia. I remember my doctor told me, "Oh, well, you know, you're gonna wear glasses for the rest of your life, and you're gonna have to get stronger and stronger prescriptions." I'm like, "What kind of thing is that to say to someone?" I was really offended by that. The soft power of openness to other languages. I like that title. I like that headline. The soft power of openness to other languages. First, I like the idea of soft power, and I like the idea of you know, openness. At least you aren't cockeyed. Oh, I keep meaning to ask Kim about her eyes. A country's attractiveness to the rest of the world can come in many forms, such as cultural exports, foreign aid, high tech innovations, or its degree of freedom. One type of soft power, however, is often overlooked, a generosity toward languages. In recent months, the island of Taiwan has been conquered by which has been conquered by several foreign forces in recent history, is moving fast to embrace its language diversity. Last year, it gave national status to the mother tongue of minority indigenous groups, many of whom live in the mountains. So, you know, instead of being like in this country, people are acting like you know and again we're using the term I'm using the term people lightly, casually, like I'm still not sure. But, there are some who feel like, oh, you're speaking another language, and they like get all upset and in distress. Like maybe the person speaks English and Spanish. Maybe the person speaks, multiple languages. Like maybe it's a blessing that someone speaks other languages. Maybe, like I can't even process this right now. You know, yeah, let me just so they're like, instead of like just being like the only language that you can speak is English, it's like, oh, we embrace all of the languages, all of the languages, all of it, it's no threat, we can embrace everything. It doesn't diminish who we are. It doesn't make us any less than who we are. And I think a lot of times, like that whole concept of like, or the idea of soft power, is sort of like, you know you don't always have to be like hard and mean and whatever to be powerful. For more US parents, paid family leave becomes reality. So I guess in California it's common for people to get paid family time off. What language are you presently learning? Second language. Español. Parla uno, dos, tres, doce, no, can 20 dos and dos years. For 22 years. Ayudo español. And one of these days, día, I'ma know it. What languages are other people studying? I'm about to move to Costa Rica, so I gotta learn Spanish. Like officially. Not like, just like, jokingly, but like where I can really communicate. I missed something about eyes. Yeah, was I saying something about eyes? Oh, myopia. We were talking about myopia. I already speak some German, so I'm sticking with that. I don't know how German sounds to my mind. It sounds, I mastered Ebonics, so I'm good. Oh, okay. What language are you presently speaking? The English. Pali. I could start studying a little Pali. I'm always impressed with people who know other languages, who study other languages. I feel like it makes your mind, operate in a different way, and I think it makes your world perspective a little different too. Because language shapes the way that we see the world, and shapes the way that we understand the world. So one thing that they were talking about in the article about the paid family leave that I thought was interesting was the idea of the father in relationship with his son, and he felt that the reason his relationship with his son was so strong was because the family paid family, like he had time when his son was born to spend time bonding and building a relationship with his son. He financially had the time and the resources to do it because the company he worked for, or the government or whatever, supported him in doing that. And it made me think about when I first met Anglo-Saxons, ain't the true angel sons of Saxony. Ooh, angel sons of Saxony. I practice by taking a movie I've watched so many times that I know all the dialogue and then watch it in German. That's what one of my girlfriends told me to do with Spanish. She said, well, with a book, she said, get this, read the book in English and then read it in Spanish. Like, books that I know and are familiar. Yo tengo hambre. I'm hungry. I'm tired. Something vida, life. Muy complicado. I'm rusty. My life is very complicated. Is it hambre or hombre? Hambre, is that hunger? Or man? Is it man? Hombre. Hombre. Oh, I'm very hungry and tired. My life is very complicated. I'm rusty. Hey, hombre is man. Hombre. Hombre. Yeah, we got to put that A first. Food first. Okay, I might remember it now. So it made me think about when I first met my husband, and my second husband. When I first met my second husband, well, not when I first met him, but one of the first times that he came, remember I told y'all we met, and then he's like, "Where can I find that Angela?" And the person who had introduced us was like, "Oh, she at the Black Hole." He like, "The Black Hole? Or what is this? Is it a dance? Is she a stripper? What is it?" And so he came into, and he had his little grandson with him, and his grandson was 4 at the time. And I was always just like really fascinated. Now that when I saw his chart, I understood a lot more about that whole. But I was fascinated that the little boy was with his granddaddy and how much time they spent together and the nature of their relationship. And then later on, I found that he was there at his grandson's birth. And that was kind of deep to me. And they're a couple of days apart. Like their birthdays are like 2 days apart, But I don't know if being there at his birth caused them to bond in a different way, and being a part of his life so young caused him to bond in a different way, or if they would have language, or if they would have already, I don't know. I don't know if this man in this thing would have bonded with his child without, the paid family leave. Although I feel like you have to put time into relationships. So it makes sense that the more time you put in, the more bonded and connected, the more context there is for the relationship. So yeah, I'm a favor. I'm in fan. I'm a fan. I'm in favor. I'm in favor. I'm in favor. Colorado City unanimously votes to ban assault style rifles. Dang, I can't remember which city it was. Is one that I had heard of. So they say no, we not gonna have the assault rifles, and it's unanimous. It's simple. This is we basically all in agreement. At least the people who were voting, which is probably 5 or 10 people. Boulder, Colorado. I spent a little bit of time. I spent a little bit of time in Colorado Springs. I didn't count that in the cities, but I was living in New York then and commuting back and forth. Eat chase, no, that's not. That's terrible. I have to hear you say it. I tried Prince Harry's wedding diet for a week, and it felt so good. It made me rethink how I usually eat. Sounds like Hater Japo. That's German, for real, for real. Schwarz zu sein an mir geht es Black Power. Oh, wait a second. I understood that part. I don't know any of those words. Zu sein. Schwartz is black, right? Nice try, Fab. Yeah, I don't know any of those. I don't think I'm familiar with any. I love being black. And I'm all about black power and pro-black. Black, blackity black, black, blackity black, black. That's how I translate that. Black, blackity black. Okay. All right. Yay! So I like the idea. I know it. I knew it. Yes. I like the idea of, a lot of times people think of like, oh, I'm going to go on a diet for this special occasion. And I think that it's good that this person went on a diet. Oh, ich liebe means love, but in Germany, you would not really use love in that context. Yeah. And I love the idea that this person went on a diet and, they found that they loved it, because you know what I really think? I really believe that when we're doing things that are good for us, they feel good. And I think it's like propaganda and bullshit that, like, when you eating good, it's like, oh, it's so awful and depressing and you just do it. Like when you eating good, you feel good. It tastes good. I think it's when you in good relationships, they feel good. It's a good experience. When you doing good things for you, it feel good. And I'm yelling at you because I don't want to hear no argumentation about it. But I just feel like I think it's good. I think it's like some... Please don't say you love me in German. I like love in every language. Shoot. So yeah, I like the idea of this person having a good experience, because a lot of people want to, advance this BS story. That's not true. When you're doing things that are good for you, they feel good. I mean, deep down, really sincerely. Wow, teach professor against the oppressor, a Yapo. I keep my money separate from my spouse, and it's a key to happiness in our marriage. So, the top two things that they say tear up marriages are sex and money. And on a lot of these reality shows, or in a lot of these reviews on reality shows, there are big conversations about whether people's money is joined or separated, or at least some of the shows that I review. And I was kind of surprised at how many people felt like, oh my gosh, if your money is separated, then how are you married? That means you're not married. And I kind of feel like, well, I think people negotiate that together, like what works for them, like, so I was just kind of like, I don't know. I was surprised that so many people were so like, like this is the only way that a marriage can work, Now, I personally have never had like a separate thing, but I don't know. But I don't think like, oh, if your stuff is separate, then that means you headed for the divorce table, the divorce line, So it just made me think about that. No, Melania Trump is not a Russian spy. So, what was interesting to me about this is the fact that it's, when they start making rules about something, that means it's in response to something. So, I'm kind of like, I just figured they're saying there's some new rumor that's going around the internet that Melania is a Russian spy. Now, I don't know if she's a Russian spy or not, but I just figure all of those people around there remember General Schwarzkopf. In German, Schwarz means black, and Kopf means head. Yep, I heard that too. But it's like it's going around the internet that she is spy. But I feel like I just assumed from a long time ago that all Schwarzenegger. I figured that all of the people around Zero were, if not spy, I just figured they all have some kind of, they bought off, they lack integrity, they ain't here for the United States. Is anybody here for the United States? They're here for themselves and for their own, internal enrichment. Like, so I feel like whether she's a spy or not, like, I don't know. And like, what is this new rumor? Hasn't that always been the take on him and all his crew? That's been my take on him and all his crew. And it seemed like every day, every time you hear something, it's like it fit right into that narrative. This is the body type that women find most attractive in men, according to science. Oh, I don't know what body type it was. I didn't really look. I just thought it was interesting that there was a I just thought it was interesting that there, like, this whole conversation about, because there's like a conversation about women deal with men for security and men deal with women for attractiveness. And so I was kind of like, oh, that's interesting that there's a body type, that most women find attractive. I was kind of surprised by that. Ew. You look Men, listen up. All that time at the gym and clean eating may be worth it, according to whites again. Well, I think that a fit body can be a reflection of certain things. I don't think that it's the only thing that can reflect certain things, but I guess I'm concerned about, kind of the total package, like where people are spiritually, emotionally, physically, financially, like, what's going on, what's the total picture. It's not just one thing that, like, tells me the whole story. And I feel like it's not, like it's not one thing that makes the whole story or one thing that breaks the whole story. There's a whole, like, you got to integrate, you got to put all the pieces together, So I'm not, hey, Bella. Companies are raking it in from the Trump tax law, and it's a big win for both Democrats and Republicans. I've been told that I have the body of a god, Buddha. All of the Buddha images are not fat Buddha. Buddha was not always fat. He was not always roly-poly and jolly. He can be happy without being fat. So that headline, it was kind of like, I feel like, yeah, the Republicans and the Democrats, that's like my right arm and my left arm. I don't know if he had a six-pack. I was not engaged. My relationship with the Buddha was not a physical relationship. I got to invite my queen to this. She's in the 313 also. Be right back. Oh, your queen. Oh. So okay. So yeah, I wasn't like I'm like, okay, Republicans, Democrats. Now she done came downstairs. She peeked around the corner looking at me. And I don't know who she barked, what she barking at outside. Oh, I saw the yellow cat just sitting in the grass down the street. Like this. Companies, oh, we talked about that. Two dead, two dead, dozens of fifth graders injured after school bus and dump truck collide on New Jersey highway. I don't know. So rest in peace to the people who made their transition. I don't know if it was I'm assuming that the two dead are not fifth graders or that would have been part of the headline, but just peace for the people who made their transition and their families and their communities. And dozens of fifth graders injured. I heard that earlier. Rest in peace. That was a terrible story. I have true pics of the true Buddha with cornrows. Ooh. Oh. Yeah. Maybe I'll have to look at the story because I haven't had any other than my news feed, and I didn't even have time really to. I was doing other stuff today, so I didn't get into. I didn't watch any of the news shows. I didn't watch the panel shows. I didn't watch, not even a minute. Realhistory.com. Oh, okay, I'll check it out. I like the Buddha. Well, I like, my meditation practice and my Goenkaji and, the conversation and like, I feel like I've learned a lot. He's truly a G. When you say like Angela G, that's like Angela, my teacher. Goenka G, his name is Goenka, is like my teacher. So he's truly like a G. Like, I like that. I will check that out too. Check what out? Um, there is suddenly buzz that one of the top NBA draft, I don't know, Siddhartha and Buddha are the same. I'm not sure. There is suddenly buzz that one of the top NBA draft prospects could throw a wrench into the whole affair by staying overseas. What I like, like now, part of I guess, the sales pitch of my meditation practice is that it's come directly down from the Buddha, like one, two, three. I think it's like six teachers down. But I don't know if that's necessarily the appeal to me. It's just kind of like if I don't care if your name is Buddha or whoever. If I'm vibing and if I feel like I can get something from it, then I'm open and receptive. If it seemed like some bull and some chicanery, then I'm not open. Like I just go by how I feel. So I don't know if it was so much like the whole that it was Buddhist. It just seemed like there were a lot of benefits, and especially I like the idea, like when we talk about the fact that you can't pay. You not only do you not pay in advance, you can't pay in advance, and you can't pay after. If you want to make a donation to help somebody else, then you can make a donation, but that's not paying for what you did because somebody else already paid for that. And so it's sort of like I really like the idea of that. I love the idea, the service. It's a lot that I really you know appreciate about it. There are suddenly buzz. I don't know why I'm into this. Confucius and Socrates were black. Black, 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 blackity, black, black. So nobody heard that song. I'm the only one. Did you see the Wild Wild Country documentary about the Regines in Oregon? No, I didn't see. I have never seen any Wild Wild Country anything. So I didn't. I don't know. I don't know why I'm like so interested in the uh in the NBA, but I do want to tell y'all probably already know this, but I had found out no, I haven't seen that. What I found out is that I knew LeBron was playing someplace and somebody, and then I heard that LeBron didn't win. And then my mother was like, but he got 42 points. And I'm like, dang. So that's a lot. That's a lot of points. He can't do it all by himself. So I had to revise my whole take on it. He can't do it all by himself. That's all I want to say about LeBron. The Tai Chi is very structured. That's right. I forgot you do Tai Chi. I tried to learn Tai Chi. None of us can. None of us, can do it alone. But I thought LeBron could. I don't know why but anyway, speaking of things that I'm not really interested in, that I seem to be interested in momentarily, there's suddenly buzz that one of the top NBA draft prospects could throw a wrench in the whole affair by staying overseas. Now, this guy I think is European, and the theory is that like if the team that want to draft him, he don't want to go to it, he gonna be like, I'm just gonna stay here. Let me sign up with mine coming over there for the Sacramento Kings. I don't know. He is some team I guess he don't want to come over for. I don't know why that was interesting to me. At first, when I saw it, I was thinking about the man with the children with the shoes, whose child went to China and was accused of shoplifting. And at first I was thinking about him because they were like the top draft pick, and I'm like, oh, but ride with Europe, that's your rope. You need a big-breasted woman to Tai Chi with, Yapo. Help us, Lord. Lord, give us the strength today, Lord, to stay focused. Habaragani, people, Habaragani. Let us talk about the Kuji and the Chaga and the Leah, the Kuji Chaga Leah. Self-determination. God is good. Yes, he is. Yes, she is. He, she, mother, father, sister, brother, God is good all day, every day. Yes. Have you ever said something that you hated, that you ever said, heck yeah. You see how much I talk? I'd be like, oh, Lord. No. I have help. Thank you. I have help too. This is water with a little bit of lime in it. Lime. I tried to drink extra water yesterday, and then today I was behind because I was feeling like I was crampy. Iran pushes app with death to America emoji. I'm here like, dang. Iran pushes an app, so they have an app. You know how I guess, and one of their emojis is like death to America. Like America go die, go to hell. Boo, America. That's how some people in the world feel about this country. That's how some people in America feel about this country. Nobody that I know feels that way. The Haitian American culture extravaganza celebration is back. And it's spelled, now I think this is like Creole, Haitian Creole. It's called, we talked about it before, Celebrasyon. Celebration. Yes. I wish I was in New York. I'd go to Celebration. I need to I don't know. It's probably some Haitian people around here. There was a Haitian person that I went to school with. I really want to say his name. Haitian men are handsome. He was cute. Oh, when I went to college, I had the biggest crush. There was this guy. He was Haitian. And when I first saw him, I'm like, he looked like Charlie Brown. Why his face so brown, so round, like, shape? And then I just ended up having the biggest crush on him. And he ended up dating one of my best friends. And he was one of those, he was black. He was one of those people. Now, she was biracial. He was one of those people who his mama told him, don't be bringing no black girls home. That's the rumor. I don't know if it's true. That's what I had heard. So my little feelings got hurt. But he was one of those people whose sense of humor I thought was kind of like mean. I didn't too much care for it. After I got past my crush, I guess, I was kind of like, do I like him? I don't know if Yay. A solid lineup of artists of Haitian descent, including some that will be coming directly from Haiti for the event. It kicked off May 4th. Oh, and will continue until mid-June. I think it's in New York. So if you're in New York, Children's Museum of the Arts, Bookman, I don't know where. Oh, look at this image. Let's cover up your ears, Yapo. Isn't that, can you see their locks? And they bags. Oh, look at their bags with the fringe on it at the bottom. I don't know if y'all can make it out. Haitian flag day. Oh, look at her in that blue. She's pretty. Dang. Ooh. You trying to tell me something, Yapo? I don't to read a full schedule of these events, go here and here. I don't know why I thought this was in New York. In New York, is it saying that it's in New York? Oh, New York City's Festival of Haitian Arts and Culture. So for those of you who are in New York, go on my behalf. Bring me back some information and some culture. I gotta move on, y'all. I love y'all. Gotta hit these streets. I know it's like I came in the middle of the night and then I'm just talking. It's like, gotta hit these streets for a minute. Goodbye. 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 Thanks for coming by. The YouTube streets. All right, let's keep going. Kim Kardashian caught toxic for advertising diet lollipop. Ni problem. Good night. No problemo. Buenos noches, señor. Buenos, how you say brother? Como se dice brother? Buenas noches, brother. Brodero. That's not how you say brother. How you say brother and sister? I probably know that somewhere. So she got there. I guess it's some lollipop where you lick it and then buenas noches. Hermano. Buenos noches. Es bueno see you. Why I do that with my voice? See you. Like that makes it. That's not speaking Spanish, Angela. Stop it. So it's a mirror. Oh, it's bueno la mira mirar ustedes too. Yo no sé. So it's some kind of lollipop, like, I guess it's like lollipops are associated with children. I don't know what the story is. I'm just assuming that lollipops are associated with children. So if you're advertising something like a lollipop, that's a diet lollipop. It's like you're pushing dieting on children, and that's not cool. So they like, you not cool, Kim K. The Indian sanitary pad workers going to the royal wedding. So I was like, well, sanitary, I didn't read the pad. I just read sanitary. And then when I read the article, it was like sanitary pad. I'm like, oh, they give out sanitary pads to people who can't afford them. Women. It's always going to be women who can't afford them. Good night. Good night. Ebe inem wunderschakon abadum. I don't know what that means. Good night. I think I got that part. Japanese train departs 25 seconds early. Again. We talked about this story when it happened before. I was amazed that it was like a story. Now, I do know that like if the train was supposed to leave at whatever time and not there, good nights, I had a great time. Oh, wonder showing. Oh, you know what it's starting to look like when I was in Amsterdam. Shonen. I bet you I've been this brother. Is it brother? When I was in Amsterdam, the language kind of reminded me of that. In Holland in the Netherlands. So it departed 25 seconds early, and it was upset. They was upset the first time. They upset now. Because I at first I'm kind of like 25 seconds ain't nothing. That's like basically on time. But if I was like got there like and if I got there and it had just left like 5 seconds ago or 10 seconds ago or 20 seconds ago, you got wonderful, right? Great evening. Yay. Are you going? Bye. Everybody's leaving me. It's only 11:18. Don't go. The party's just getting started. It's Thursday. We gotta ramp up for Friday. Friday night is gonna be live. It's gonna be litty. I'm probably gonna be asleep. Is removing Aboriginal from birth certificates whitewashing history? So somebody got their relative's birth certificate who they knew was a native person, and Aboriginal was not on the birth certificate. So it reminds you of yes, it reminds you of Mexico, where the people of African descent have been fighting to have a category for African on there, or of African descent, or black, or whatever, on the identity papers, because it's like they don't exist. Like, according to the official records, when you look at who's there, it's like they're not there, and they're like, we are here, we here, and we want to, we here, recognize, you better recognize that's how they are. So yeah, so I don't know why they're going back and removing stuff and changing stuff. I guess that's part of like the stillation of the land. Tomorrow is a 2-year anniversary of my mom's transition. I may not be on the line tomorrow, already feeling some kind of way, unfortunately. Wow. So that means that today is the day that Royal's mother transitioned, right? Didn't we find that out the other day talking? So prayers out to your mama is Mama Bert, right? So Mama Bert is tomorrow. Is your mama Mama Bert? Bertha? Yes, yes. Okay. I can't remember Mama Royal's mama. Um oh, okay. Well, I guess thanks for the heads up. Prayers are with you. Everybody, y'all supposed to put the parentheses. Isn't it like 3 parentheses is a hug? It don't really work through the through the TV screen or whatever. Oh, yeah. Well, tell us some, yeah, hugs. Tell us some wonderful things that you remember about Mama Bert as we continue. Just share with us some of the wonderful memories. Thank you all. It's all right. We all have things to deal with. What did you enjoy most about your mama? B crisis, EU court backs near total neonicotinoids ban. Yes, I want to hear that. I might not be pronouncing it, but the neonicotinoids or whatever are some sort of like chemicals that they use to, like, pesticides or growicide, like they killing the pests or trying to grow the plants or whatever, and it's affecting the bees. And I almost feel like I feel for the bees the way I feel for us. Like, oh, so now that you done killed off the bees, now you want to stop and be like, oh, we're sorry. You can't bring back the bee colonies that are killed. So, it's a near total the beautiful way she used to try to run my life. She just couldn't help herself. That's deep. So, Yapo, are you a mama's boy? Were you a mama's boy? She was awesome. Oh, that's a mommy. Mother's the opposite. Hmm. New York man threatens to report Spanish speaking staff to authorities. He's a lawyer. So they speaking in a restaurant. He gonna report them to authorities. I think they work there or something. No. Nigerian students tied to cross and whipped for being late. But you got to keep it coming. No, not a mama's boy. She was a character. She was a character, unlike you. Okay. You mean y'all weren't the same character, but she was a character and you are a character. And you probably got it honest from your mama. Um, so the people were late, and they tied the people to the cross, and they whipped them. She was a prankster. Wow. Wow. That puts things in perspective. Wow. What kind of pranks would she do? Like you walk into your bedroom and a bucket of paint would fall on your head? When you were a kid, you'd open up, here's some peanuts, baby. You'd open it up and it would be like snakes. So you'd be like, ah! Oh my God, my battery is low. And I'm just talking up a storm. Hello? 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 Is anybody there? So that's what the Niger. Yep. Okay. So the Nigerian students tied to a cross. Students. She would shave his head in his sleep. Right. Would she put ketchup in your mouth or mayonnaise up your nose? What kind of pranks was she doing? I don't know if I know pranks. Venezuela political prisoners revolt at Caracas jail. I'm really curious about the political prisoners. I'm really curious about the revolt. April Fool's Day, she called me and pretended she was one of my exes and she was pregnant. I was sweating and stuttering. She busted out laughing. That's not really funny, actually, when I think about it. But I know you were happy when she started laughing. Like, whew. Oh. Wow. She gave him chocolate and he found out it was X-Lax. Speaking of exes, that's the, okay. Belgium migrants, girl dies after police chase van. So it was a van full of people who were trying to migrate into the country, I guess illegally, and so they were driving away and a girl was in there and she died. I don't know if they smooth move. Lord help us. Um so yeah, I don't know. I don't think it was like a pursuit where they shot her or but she made her transition. So peace to her and her family and community. DR Congo Ebola outbreak spreads to Mbakandaka city. We talked about that a little bit earlier. Hawaii's Mount Kilauea explosive eruption at volcano. Second glass, raised 9 children in the hood, all have degrees except me. Won't be getting mine until 2020. None in trouble with the law, no drugs, no alcoholics. She was great. Because that's a lot. That's more than a handful. That's 2 handfuls, more than 2 handfuls. God bless our Black mothers. Wow, that is awesome. Yeah. Ballers and Insecure get season premiere dates on HBO. Dang, I like well, it's organic. Who, your wine? That's a lot. 9 children, all the same father. Yeah. I think, well, I don't, you might, I mean, yeah. Now, on my granddaddy's side, on my grandmother's side, on my granddaddy's side, no, on my granddaddy's side, they're not all the same mother. His first wife died, and then he married somebody else. On my grandmother's side, I think they are all, but I'm not sure. I have to do some research now. Yeah. MTV halts catfish production amid sexual misconduct allegations against host Nev Schulman. North Korea turns on incompetent South. They like y'all incompetent. Her spirit is still with you at Ayapo. Yes, it is. She was like a big time Batinsky. I really love that woman. That's enough. I feel feel like I wish, and I don't know because I haven't had the personal experience. So I feel like it's easy for me to say, well, you should have a party. Like, I feel like, I don't know how I'd be feeling if somebody, close to me made their transition and then some fool was like, you should have a party. I'd probably be like, I should break your hands. I don't know. But, I feel like I like to hear, the celebratory aspect, but that's just for me, but yeah, you have an ancestor, a powerful, close ancestor, and that's a blessing, I think. But it's different, like, people are with you, but in a different way. Oh, grandma's hands, you da na 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 na. Grandma's hands. Bavarian police can use DNA to find suspects' eye and hair color. Waffle House homophobia: why the Black community abandons LGBTQ police brutality victims like Anthony Wall. I don't know who Anthony Wall is. I guess he's one of these people who got hurt in the or attacked or whatever in the Waffle House. But we talked about it earlier. I'm just like, I'm not really here for the the hierarchies, and I feel like they're not serving us well. Arlen Hamilton's It's About Damn Time Fund wants $36 million to invest in Black female founders. She has a venture capital company, so I guess she's raising money to invest. I said I wanted to be a venture capitalist. I thought you just already had the money because you were rich from whatever. I didn't know you raised the money. I never heard of a venture capitalist raising money. Russia's military hot water blowers, but maybe I don't know, and maybe I need to research more. So they were like, it's like an Olympic type sport, like where they blow into hot water bottles, like literally like the plastic thing that you use for, like, and I'm like, well, why did they do this? I guess it's like some sports are like kind of mysterious to me. Like running, it's like I can kind of understand that because you might have to like hurry up and run away from a lion or hurry up and run to get some water, or I don't know. But like, when you get into like other things, it's kind of like basketball. Like, okay, you run here, you put it in, and then you dribble, and like it's all these rules and like all of these like things, and it's like, why? How did they evolve? For what purpose? And then the same thing with like blowing the water bottle. Like, why? Like, why? I mean, it might be a purpose. I just don't know. But it's like, why? Beirut Pride canceled after organizer detained. It's a test of lung strength. I couldn't even blow through the clarinet hardly. Even just now, I just hurt my lungs. Robot stands in for U.S. student at graduation. Did y'all hear about that story? Did y'all see that? The student, I think, is sick and couldn't be at graduation, so they had some contraption with a video, like a tablet, and you could see the child. I think she was like wherever she was, they like had it there for her to look. Can you see her? Oh shoot, it just went away. Pope warns nuns to use sobriety on social media. So I thought this was interesting because the nuns went on social media to say something that I thought was kind of progressive. I can't remember what it was now. And then the article went on to say that the Pope and the Vatican be out here active on social media. Like some people might argue that the Vatican is not using social media with sobriety. But the nuns they were saying something about a group of men accused of gang rape given what many regarded as unduly lenient sentences. And so the nuns went on and said in Spanish, that this, because it's a free decision, we will defend with all means available to us, and this is one, the right of all women to freely do the opposite without being judged, raped, intimidated, or humiliated for it. They like, look, we freely decided to not have sex, to be covered up, whatever, but another woman can freely decide to, but that don't mean she should be raped. So, and then the Pope is like, y'all need to be quiet, cut up all of that, be sober on social media. But meanwhile, the Pope out here in the Vatican or whoever, and they need to sit down and shut up and Pope and tweet about being apologetic for their involvement in the enslavement of African people. It's good. I thought it was good that they were speaking up too. I mean, yeah. I think my phone is about to die. No. All right. Oh, no, it didn't die. Okay. I was just going to say, that means I got to I got to go. Okay, let's keep going. I'm not going to go into any other articles. I'm just going to read the headlines. Old men in dresses. Somebody, did you? Oh, you were saying that. I don't know what he had on the dress, but I asked him the question. He told me to leave. Get out of here, gal. Tidal is reportedly months behind on royalty payments. I'm just going to say that we've been talking about this. Like, why is this European country so concerned about what Tidal is not doing or is doing? It just seems very suspicious to me. Yeah, I heard heroic U.S. officer guns down school shooter. The most popular breakup song, The Year You Were Born. Now, this list started with 1975. It went all the way back to 1975. And it made me feel old because I wanted to see what the most popular breakup song. Really, I didn't want to see the most popular breakup songs. I wanted to see the most popular get together songs. But they just went to 75. So I guess if you was born before 75, you don't know nothing about make it up and break it up. Make up to break up. That's all we do. Okay. Donald Trump calls immigrants animals and threatens Oakland mayor. Love songs, right? I want to know the most popular love song, not the breakup song. Sweet Thing was a monster hit. Sweet Thing? What's Sweet Thing? The Stylistics. I can't think of Sweet Thing. Why moms to be are fleeing Venezuela. Let's stay together. I can't think of that one either. Dang. Let's stay together. No, that's not it. Okay. A prison technology company has a way to track almost any cell phone in the United States. And it reported, Al Green, Shaka. And it reportedly just got hacked. So that means that the hackers out here can track any cell phone in the United States or whoever has it now. They selling it to whoever, whatever. Donald Trump still making money from his showbiz days. He gets a pension of $60,000 from one of the acting unions. Vape pen explosion pierces Florida man's cranium, killing him. So rest in peace to him. A vape pen, like these electronic cigarettes, and peace to his family and his community. Ooga booga boo. Language was still being created. Dirt was probably still being created too. This country is so god daggone corrupt. I know. I mean, in this article, it had so many. I'm shuffling my deck. Let me shut up so I can stay focused. So are there any questions in particular that you have today? I'm so old. My social security number is 8. I choose to learn through love. That is our card for today. Those are our parting words. I choose to learn through love. What do you learn through love? What have you learned through love? I learned about the unconditional love of God through love. I didn't really understand the concept. You had me fooled there, Yapple. I thought you said boogie, oogie, oogie. Don't stop, boogie, oogie, oogie. So nobody heard the song Blackity Black, 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 Blackity Black? I'm the only one? I'm gonna have to look it up. I need to learn. I learned to be selfless. Through your relationships? Through love? Through love. Because love, it could be Mama Love. Who sings it? It takes a fool to learn that love don't love nobody. What movie? I don't know who sings it. Blackity Black Black. I just heard it on the radio about 4 days ago, and then I heard it yesterday. But it's like I think it's like a new rap song. I think it's like on the rap station or on the regular float on. Float on. Float. Okay. So Kuji Chagalia, self-determination. What are you determining for yourself? Are you naming yourself? What are you naming yourself and why? What are you creating for yourself and why? Oh, we were talking about that the other day. My name is Larry and I'm a Cancer. What song was that? Because I couldn't think of, is that what? Yeah. I was like, it's somebody who's a Cancer. Enchantment, Gloria. I don't know that song. Oh, Float On. Is that what they say in Float On? Float on. Back on it. Don't you know? I just know the little thing. Float on. It used to be some jams. I like that song. Talk about I guess you say what can. There was a My Girl and a My Guy. I like that. So what you looking forward to? What you looking forward to? What was your mother's favorite song? The Temptations. Were they both one? Wait. My Girl was one group and then My Guy was another group. The Weeknd, is that blackity black? Is it approved? I need to look at the lyrics. I need to Google it to see if I could like it. I'm probably singing it wrong. My Girl. My Guy. Talking about My Guy. Is that My Girl? That's probably My Girl. I probably got it. Oh, Mary Wells, My Guy. No muscle-bound man could ever take my hand from My Guy. My Guy. Mary Wells. Okay, so how does the other one go? My Girl. Do they sound the same? La 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 means I love you. Oh shoot. When you do My Girl, Delphonics, Temptations, My Girl. When you do My Girl, the movie comes up first on my thing. Oh, I'm trying to find something with some of the lyrics. Yeah, when I was growing up, Tears of a Clown, just my imagination. How does that one go? It's just my imagination running away with me. Baby Come Close. I don't know the song. It was just my imagination running. Oh, got me with that one. You know what song I used to like when I was a child, and I just felt like it was so, dang, what was that song? When it's cold outside, I don't know who that was. Was that the OJs? I think that was the OJ. At the month of May. Hey, what's up? We finished. we just I don't know what we doing. Somebody on their station, they just be playing music, but can you do that on YouTube? That's been a while ago. And people type in request. Gerald Levert was one of the true soul singers. Thank you for the flower. Bonafide 1970. Dang. Private line. What is that? I don't know the private line. I like baby, baby. I love to call private. To call you baby, baby, oh, sweet baby. Is it private lives? Private lines, private line. Oh my gosh, wait a second. No, I didn't mean to do that. No. Yeah. Yes. Sorry for something. Oh, call me, Aretha. Call me. Um, I feel for you. Private line, the rock band. I don't know them. I don't know them. I feel for you. I know that. Prince wrote that? I love Prince. All righty. I done stayed up so late, it's time for me to eat again. It's the middle of the night. That was it. I feel for you. I think I love you. Oh, that little place, Smoky. Baby Come Close. I don't know that one. Tears of a Clown. I think I know that one, but I don't know it. What other good songs are there? Dang. It's some good ones out there, too. It's some good ones out there. Dang. We had a good CD that we put together. We got married. And they were like all of the jams. Daydreaming. Roller Coaster of Love. Roller Coaster of Love? Girl, what is that? Oh, Knock on Wood. Now y'all get into some songs I don't know. I might know them not by the not by the title. Daydreaming at karaoke, Ohio Players. Ooh, you know what I should do? I've been meaning to listen to some Earth, Wind, and Fire. Because if I'm gonna get tickets, I probably need to get tickets now. Are they gonna sell out? Are people into Earth? Oh, car wash at the car wash. Whoa! At the car, is that the car wash? At the car wash. Come on now and sing it with me, car wash. Because if the tickets is gonna sell out, maybe, I don't know. Does anybody want to see sweet soul music? Arthur Conley keeps you on your feet. Sweet Red Hot Chili Peppers. Oh, I don't know. Now I like Los Fabulos Catalogs. Don't worry, be happy. I know that one. Don't worry. Once, twice, 3 times, lady, and I love you. Don't worry. Be happy. Ooh. Don't worry. Ooh. Be happy. Ooh. Don't worry, be happy. Here's a little song I wrote. Not me, but Bobby McFerrin probably. You might want to sing it note for note. I don't know, Party Down. Party Down. I don't know, Party Down. Don't worry. Be happy. Bella probably September. Party up. Is that Earth? That's probably Earth, Wind, and My girl likes to party all the time. Party all the time. peace. Party all the time. No, that's not it. My girl, party all the time. Party all. I don't know. I'm missing the good part where you party all the time. It's such a smooth groove. Part 1 and part 2. Check it out, please. The original, Not That Nasty Taylor Mess. That was Eddie Murphy. Yeah. Well, people, make me yours. I don't know that one, by Betty Swan. What about A Little Sugar in My Bowl? So Happy by Eddie Murphy is one of my favorite songs of all time. Oh my gosh, Eddie Murphy. I was trying to look up that one song and now I got distracted and now there's nothing on the screen for me to look at. It's very sad. It's very sad. There's nothing on the screen but me. Okay. Well, on that note, I got a tune for you. It's called Be You, Be Fabulous, Be Fabulous You. You might have heard it. Boogie Nights by Heatwave. Boogie Nights. Is that Boogie Nights? Boogie Nights? I think that's Boogie Nights. Yeah. Good night, y'all. Love Jones, The Brighter Side of Darkness. I don't know that song. Dang. Okay. So, I guess we'll drop in the comments what you're looking forward to if you're still here. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Today, tonight, whatever it is the best day, night ever. And you'll be in our thoughts as well, along with Mama. What was your mama's favorite food? Mama Bert. Always. What was her favorite food? Maybe we'll eat in celebration tomorrow, unless it's something really, really, we don't know. But tell us what the favorite food is. Do you do altars? Do you have an altar for your mama? Maybe you should. Do you have an altar? I love an altar. All right. Anything nasty and country, like okra. Maybe I'll go to Louisiana Creole gumbo. All right. Thoughts and prayers and much love. It's all on purpose. It's all intentional that we're. Oh, look. This is me hitting my Is that the sick face? This sounds like the bell to meditate in the morning. It's on purpose that we're here. Oh, okay. Oh, for okra, I don't like okra. You don't like okra, but your Mama Bert like okra. You like okra? I don't like okra. I don't know. I've never tried it. It just doesn't look appealing. It looks slimy. But then some people say tomatoes are slimy and they're appealing to me. So I don't know. I've never tried okra. But it's God's will that we're all here together. So we give thanks. I give thanks. Gives me life. Oprah brings me sadness. She liked it. I did not. But you could plant some okra. I wonder if okras have pretty flowers. Are they yellow or is that squash? I don't like squash either, but they have pretty flowers. Yeah, I don't know. Plant some okra for Mama Bert. You got some okra planted? And every year she eat a piece of okra. Just say hi, Mama. So it's all on purpose that we're here. Thank you for being here, for being you, and for being fabulous. Peace, 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 and love. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous, you. Peace.